back to another video. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me in my little corner of the internet. So today I have a haul for you. Just wanted to do a little quick show and tell and share with you guys some things that I picked up. I've been perusing through the clearance and discounted stores. You know, my usual go-to TJ Maxx and Marshalls and whatnot. And I saw that, you know, their clearance area was kind of pretty well stocked. They had a lot of discounted stuff, a lot of clothes, a lot of shoes. Particularly, I was like looking for some fragrances, and they had some really they had some pretty good stuff. A lot of it was looking very, very sad and neglected, so I thought I'd pick them up. So the first one that I picked up is quite unusual, but I smelled it on a whim and I thought it smelled really, really nice. So this is actually a men's fragrance. It's called Guapo, which means handsome in Spanish. This is by Curations, the good scent, which, you know, is usually one of those affordable, discounted, open, unboxed perfumes at TJ Maxx and Marshalls. And like I said, I don't know what made me pick this up, but I thought it really smelled good. I got it at TJ Maxx for $12, just a couple dollars off of the usual good scent prices. I think they're usually around $14 or $16. And they call this a Parfum elixir. That's just, you know, marketing and branding and whatnot, because they're affordable, cheapy scents. They're not meant to last long. But the notes are what kind of intrigued me as well. It said notes of patchouli, pink pepper, and heavy musk, because men's fragrances have to have powerful adjectives. You know, it's not no weak musk, it's a heavy musk. But really what I found is that this is quite a aromatic, powdery scent. And a little sweet. It is a little spicy, very soft spicy, but like you can definitely get hit with the pink pepper, but it dries down to something very slightly sweet and soft spicy and a touch aromatic. Like I find that like this packaging is so funny to me, because the smell, what I'm smelling, does not match the packaging at all. It's a very, you know, very powdery, clean, musky, aromatic scent. I'm not sure, you know, if this is supposed to be inspired by anything, but I thought this smelled really, really nice. It's honestly quite unisex. Like this could be Guapo or Guapa. Like it's very unisex. Random pickup, but I liked it enough that I thought, what the hell, for $12, let me give it a try. And oh yeah, something about it is like I don't know, maybe a touch fruity. And this one, I don't know why they don't usually, Curations good scent, they usually put the notes listed on the back, but this is all they have. And I can't find any information about it on the websites or anywhere online. So truly a blind buy. We'll see how I feel about it in the future. But yeah, very interesting scent. And I wouldn't mind if like I encounter men who smell like this. It's actually a really pleasant scent. Now the next one that I purchased is not a blind buy, but it is also equally affordable. This one is Crimson Pomegranate. First of all, I adore this bottle. You know, I love a good red bottle, and this bright, like crimson color, it is very, very pretty. And you know, a little cute bottle with the pearl top. Again, affordable fragrance. I picked this one up at a Marshalls for $12.99. And this is by True Fragrance. Now, I saw these style of bottles maybe 6 months ago. And honestly, what really picked up my what piqued my interest was the bottle shape. I really think they're really, really adorable. I was particularly interested in looking for, I believe it was white tea. There was a pear fragrance, there was white tea and rose, and something else. I don't remember. Now, that was 6 months ago, and I have not found those particular scents ever again. So, if anyone, is watching True Fragrance, if you could bring this back out to the discounters, I'd love to see them again. But I saw crimson pomegranate when I went back to the stores, and I smelled it, and I really, really liked this scent, but I didn't pick it up. I was like, you know what? No, let me not pick it up. Another time. I go back to the stores weeks or maybe months later, and I still see it there. I pick it up, give it a little spritz. Again, I really enjoy it, and I don't pick it up. I put it back. I go back another few weeks later, and I still see it there. And now, third time's the charm. I'm like, you know what? I really enjoy this scent. I'm still surprised that it was still there. So, for, again, $12.99 for $13. Thought, what the hell? I'm gonna get it. This is a delicious, spicy, fruity fragrance. This smells like pomegranates and Christmas spice. You know those, if you ever put fruits like oranges, cinnamon, nutmeg, the little star anise, pomegranate seeds in a pot of boiling water, and you kind of brew it, a very low, steep brew into like a tea, and the aromatics of it kind of provides like a scent for your home. That's what this smells like. I really, really enjoy this. There's something a little, I don't know, it's like a very sexy, fruity scent. I find this one also to be quite unisex because of how heavy on the spices it is. There are no notes that I could find on this online. Usually I could try to find something about True Fragrance, but these particular little circular pearl-shaped bottles, I cannot find anything about them. So I picked up this one, and I'm still looking for white tea and rose, and I cannot remember. I think it was something pear. They were both in like a green and a white bottle. These are really, really nice. I can't wait to wear this. And I'm guessing, like, based off the notes, maybe this could be inspired by a Jo Malone fragrance, Scarlet Pomegranate or something or the other. I don't know. I'm not going to, comment too much about that because I've not smelled the Jo Malone fragrance. I'm only talking about Crimson Pomegranate, and I really, really like this. This is nice. The next one that I picked up, you know me, I love my sand and fog oils. I picked up this pretty little pink bottle of raspberry rose. Got this one at Marshall's for $16.99. I'm not too sure what this is supposed to be inspired by, but I really think this is quite pretty. It's a very, honestly, from what their, title is, it's a tart raspberry fragrance with a bit of a powdery rose. It's a very simple fruity floral, very cute, very pretty. I was just a sucker for the very pretty pink packaging. I think this little shape, violin-like shape, and in a rollerball fashion, I think this was so cute, and I love a pretty pink perfume. Now, you guys know I'm also a long-time fan of Le Monde Gourmand fragrances. I've loved them. I used to pick them up all the time at Urban Outfitters, discounted. Again, you can also get them at TJ Maxx and Marshalls for a really good price. I think now they're honestly everywhere. You can get, really, I've seen Le Monde Gourmand at Nordstrom's, Nordstrom Racks. I've seen them at Ulta now. I think Sephora. I'm not too sure. Urban Outfitters, Anthropology. They've really, really blown up. which I'm pretty surprised because I swear, like years and years ago, I'm talking maybe like almost a decade ago, I only saw them at my nearest Urban Outfitters for cheap. But let me stop rambling. What I picked up was chocolat hazelnut, and I got this one. I think this was a I think this was also a Marshall's for $12. And I don't know what made me pick this up. I love a good chocolate fragrance. I think that's just that. I enjoy chocolate fragrances, and I was afraid that this was going to smell a little bit like a chocolate hazelnut candle, but really it kind of gives me the idea of like a Ferrero Rocher, or maybe a if Tootsie Rolls had a hazelnut flavor. It's a very simple gourmand fragrance, not quite foodie, maybe in the same sense of like if Bath and Body Works had a chocolate hazelnut fragrance. And for $12 in a little one fluid ounce bottle, I'm not mad at it. I think this smells really delicious, really cute. And you know, it's been a while since I've stocked up on the Monde Gourmand, so I'm happy to have this new one in my collection. Now, the next one that I picked up, you can usually find this one at Target, but I was so surprised to see it at the discounters. And I was completely influenced by one of my favorite YouTubers, Jamie from Not Another Perfume channel. This one that I picked up is, and excuse the packaging, guys, this is honey milk from Mix Bar. Like, I did not know that Marshall's was having like Mix Bar fragrances. And excuse the appearance, guys, this is actually how it looked like when I bought it. When I said that the clearance section, it was stocked to the brim, and honestly, like some people were like ravaging through some of these fragrances. I'm not sure, maybe this was a return because it really was heavily discounted for $10. Usually I know Mix Bar fragrances are about $20 at Target. I have a little sample set that I purchased, and I really love that. I keep it just for reference and for the occasional spritz. But this is supposed to be a honey-based fragrance, and you know me, I love a good honey scent. Little cute little bottle. And funny enough, this is the first full bottle Mix Bar fragrance that I own. This is actually quite a delicious scent. It is a very lactonic honey fragrance. Honey milk is quite appropriately titled. Something about this there's honestly a texture to this fragrance. I love honey. I love honey and florals predominantly. This is a very, very gourmand style honey. Still in a perfumey sense, but it is almost quite edible. This makes me think of now, I don't know if anybody has had this candy, sugar daddies. Not the actual, not a person who is a sugar daddy, but the candy sugar daddies. It's like a toffee based, or like almost like a thick caramel toffee honey style candy. Smelling it out the bottle, like that's what it reminds me of. And I'm usually quite weary of lactonic fragrances. I'm not always the biggest fan of lactonic fragrances. Sometimes on me, it can get a little bit like sour milk. But this is such an interesting honey fragrance. It's very, very warm. I have I think like a little hair perfume, not a hair perfume, but like a hair spray that smells like honey, and this also has that same quality. It's an animalic, sweet, almost smoky type of honey. It's very unique for a Mix Bar fragrance, like as such an affordable fragrance too. This is very unique. Happy to have it, happy to give it some wear. I'm really excited to give this some wear. It's very cozy. Now, the next two that I picked up were also Target fragrances. I really am surprised to see some Target fragrances at Marshall's. Perhaps they're discontinuing these if I'm seeing them in the discounters. But the first one that I wanted to share with you is Pacifica Silver Moon. Now, I remember Pacifica from way back in the day. Like, I was probably in middle school or high school when I was first introduced to Pacifica. They were one of the first perfumes that I saw that made vegan and cruelty-free fragrances, and that were quite affordable. One of my old schoolmates and school friends, she was vegan before like vegan was a trend. And she introduced me to Pacifica fragrances. Now, being in middle school, I couldn't afford Pacifica, but I did always appreciate their perfumes. And anytime I would stop by a Target, you know, shopping with my mom, I would smell them. So these are, I think, the new packaging, or maybe they're discontinuing this packaging, and you know, they're always constantly changing. But I picked this one up at Marshall's for $10 also. Again, the packaging was quite beat up. And this is very pretty. This is a very unique scent. I don't remember ever smelling Silver Moon back in the day, but this is a very musky molecular scent. What I'm smelling does not match what the notes are from what I saw in Fragrantica. I think they categorize this as like a vanilla scent. I think a woody vanilla. I'm smelling something like musky, molecular, and a bit of sandalwood. I get a very unisex woody scent. I like it. I like it a lot. And the title, Silver Moon, it makes me think of that. It's quite sci-fi. Sci-fi, celestial. But yeah, they're saying here that it's cardamom, vanilla and almond, and clove. And maybe my nose is broken. I really don't get that. I don't get vanilla and almond. I don't get clove. I'm very familiar with clove. I use it quite often in my cooking. And same thing with cardamom. I'm not getting anything spicy. It's quite odd. But I really get like a very musky sandalwood, cedarwood type of scent. I don't know. Somebody, talk to me in the comments. Let me know if what are you smelling if you've ever smelled Silver Moon. But I'm really, really happy to have this. I really like this a lot. I think this is such a unique fragrance. I myself have not personally smelled anything like it. And for $10, that is quite a steal. This is a lovely little perfume. Even if, they may not have the best lasting power. I know they say some Pacifica fragrances are notorious for it. The next one is another Pacifica fragrance. I picked these both up at the same time, along with the mix bar. This is Indian Coconut Nectar. And once again, the beaten bottle. I got this at Marshall's for $10. And I think here it was for $12. So just a couple dollars off. And this one I also really, really enjoy. This smells like coconut custard. This is delicious. Like, imagine you had a coconut pudding, coconut rice pudding. I love this. I love a good coconut scent. I think they're such fun summertime fragrances. Honestly, with how heavy vanilla they use in coconut-based fragrances, you could also wear this during the winter time. On the packaging, it's vanilla, coconut, and amber, and that's exactly it. The packaging, the notes match what I'm smelling. It's a very gourmand style of coconut. It really smells like coconut, vanilla, amber. Simple, yet effective, and quite delicious. And last but not least, I picked this one also at Marshall's. I got this for $10, and this is Sugarful from Michel Germain. And I remember a lot of people talking about this one from way back in the day. Oh my gosh, look how adorable. This is so stinking cute. Look at this little bottle. It is like those little sugar dispensers that you get at diners. So yeah, no, I remember a lot of people were talking about Sugarful from maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago. It could have been more than that. Honest, it really could have been more than that. So I got this little 40 ml bottle, and this was another like impulse purchase. This is candy sweet, Sugarful exactly. This makes me think of high school where girls in the locker room would spray themselves down smelling like Britney Spears Fantasy, Pink Sugar, Bath and Body Works, Victoria's Secret, the whole cloud of sweet sugary scents. It's very Y2K, very cute, very girly, tooth achingly sweet. It smells like fruity candy, like a very musky, fruity, simple candy. I'm honestly gagged by the bottle. I think this is, and I usually love fun little bottles like this. This is quite cute. So I think this is going to be like a little fun springtime, summertime fragrance. Can't wait to try it out. So this was my random ass affordable haul. Like I said, like the mall rat I am, I love perusing through the clearance section and seeing what little hidden treasures, hidden gems there are. Talk to me in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like this video if you did. Subscribe if you want to. I will always appreciate it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.